Did you know that the first watercolor pencil in the world was called Prismalo and was created by Caran in 1931? Well, I didn't know that, though I obviously do now. I used to love the Luminance and Supracolor color pencils so much, and even though I grew up around Geneva, where the brand was created over 100 years ago, I actually never went inside a Caran store before because to me they were synonyms of luxury designer stores where kids were basically not allowed into. But I'm going to change that today. I grew up in Geneva, which is where Caran was founded back in 1915. Well, it officially became Caran in 1924 and it was first called La Fabrique Genevoise de Crayons Écrits d'Or. You would think I'd taken more advantage of living in Geneva to go in any Caran store that was available, but I never have. Anyway, fun fact, crayon means pencil in French, but in English it refers to those colored wax sticks. Another fun fact, Caran was named after a famous cartoonist, Emmanuel Poiret, alias Caran. His name itself came from the Russian word garandash and Turkish karatash, meaning black stone or graphite. And please pardon my pronunciation. I would have loved to say that this store is a treasure trove, but because we're in Switzerland and everything is Swiss design mostly, this store looks more like a bank vault for sure. There are 2 floors at this branch. On the ground floor, you can find all kinds of products from Caran, of course, from luxury mechanical pencils to watercolor pencils. Then on the first floor is personalization workshops space. The vibe here feels very Swiss, organized, clean, and very functional. The front of the store showcases pens and pencils together, many of which are quite expensive. They also have like these minimalist looking notebooks, some with a nice iridescent effect. Then the back of the store is more aligned with my world. It's all about art supplies, color pencils, watercolor pencils, and crayons. I'm not going to mention gouache here because those huge bottles are not my style, but you know, in case you need them, they are here. If you have also always dreamed of having those precious wooden boxes filled with hundreds of color pencils, those are displayed at the back of the store, looking almighty and expensive behind the glass doors. This is the world's first watercolor pencil, which was a groundbreaking innovation back when it was introduced in 1931. We may take this for granted now, but imagine, like back then, the artist could finally have the versatility of a pencil, but with the added dimension of watercolor effects. They could now sketch quickly and paint without having to worry about the paint drying too fast or having a full set of equipment with them. It was such a revolution. Each Prismalo pencil is painted with the same color as its leads, and the bottom of the barrel is marked with white. The pencils are also coated with a shiny texture, but they have a certain grip and don't feel too slippery on the hand, which I approve. Unlike the other pencils from the watercolor line though, Prismalo pencils don't have the color names printed on their barrel. But the colors themselves are quite suggestive, so this is completely fine, of course. Now to the Supracolor pencils. These pencils are another beloved line of watercolor pencils from Caran. It was first launched back in 1988 as a softer alternative to Prismalo. The lids of Supracolor soft pencils are softer than Prismalo, which makes them more suitable for covering larger areas and for blending colors together without exhausting your hands too much. The diameter seems slightly larger than Prismalo by probably half a millimeter. Yes, I did measure them, and that makes these pencils easier to hold in your hand. Other than that, the feeling of holding a Supracolor is quite similar to Prismalo. Both lines have their colors painted on the barrel with gold embossing, but the Supracolor does not have a white bottom, and the color name is now printed on the pencil. Museum Aquarelle is the most premium line of watercolor pencils from the brand. Just from the look of it, you can definitely see that they seem more high-end. The pencils from this line have the softest core, which makes them the least demanding in terms of physical effort when painting. Museum Aquarelle pencils use an 8mm cedar wood barrel, which protects the lid very well, so when they fall, the lids are less susceptible of breaking. The texture of the barrel is very matte, so that is not slippery at all. It has the largest diameter out of all watercolor pencils line as well, which means that the pencils feel extremely good and sturdy in the hand. Also, if you're looking for the brightest pigment, this line is supposed to be the most generously pigmented line, though I do feel like Supracolor is not that far behind. Now, unlike the other lines, Museum Aquarelle pencils are embossed with silver contrasting with the matte black barrel. This gives off a very premium and chic feel. Then of course there's the iconic Luminance pencils. This is not a watercolor pencil at all, but I still want to talk about them because they were my first love in terms of art supply. And though it is a recent invention, I really think Luminance story is really interesting. So first, Luminance pencils are known for their exceptional light fastness, so if your artworks need to remain vibrant for a long time, you can totally trust them. Now to the story. This pencil was developed after 2 years of secret research in Geneva. Like, we're talking about pencils here. I wasn't wrong to feel like being in a bank vault, or actually it's like a scientific lab. Obviously, the brand was working on developing high-quality pigments that would offer excellent UV resistance, so it makes sense that those would take time, right? I don't use dry color pencil anymore because they take a lot of time and I tend to have bad cramps from them. But despite that, I still really love the wooden look of the Luminance pencils. This is it for Caran tour. It was fun to come here as an adult and not feel intimidated to go inside. If you happen to come to Geneva or be in Caran store in any part of the world, I don't know if that exists, but be sure to explore. You'll find some really cool pencils. Or if you're like me, you may rekindle with using watercolor pencils again. Right now I'm using them quite a lot and I'm having fun with them because they're so easy to use when I need to move around or I want to just draw on the go. Thanks for joining me again. I hope you had a good time. Happy drawing and see you in my next video. Bye bye!